Thank you for joining us for the 2-Minute Drills. I'm Aram Talegian, San Gabriel Valley Newspaper Group football writer, joined by Fred J. Robledo, the San Gabriel Valley Tribune's prep sports editor. Freddie, we got a nice old-school parochial battle taking place at Bishop Amat on Friday night. The Lancers 6-2, 1-1 in league, hosting Loyola 6-1, 1-0 in league. Amat really set this game up very nicely by winning at Crespi last week. I mean, this game, if they win it, probably gets them into the playoffs. And if they win it, it even keeps their league championship hopes alive in the Sarah.
Yeah. Well, 2 wins probably get you into the playoffs. Yeah. It doesn't guarantee it, but I'll tell you why it's important. Bishop Amat finishes their season in week 9. Their bye week is in week 10. You do not want to be 2-2 and have to wait the whole next week, that final week, practice, and then not get in the playoffs. You want to take care of this.
I never thought of that.
Yeah,
Fred.
you want to take care of it early. You beat Loyola now and give yourself a chance to beat Notre Dame, who, they have a bye week this week, so these are two important games, but you have to win the home game. Otherwise, you absolutely would have to beat Notre Dame on the road next week. And then even if you won that, I'm assuming you lost to Loyola, then you're in that situation where you've got to practice in week 10, not knowing if you're making the playoffs, hoping that the tiebreaker scenarios work out. And Amat doesn't want to be in that situation. And look, they've got Loyola at home. This is their homecoming. They only get 2 home Sarah League games. And it's one area I think they absolutely have to win. And coming off of Crespi last week, I think they found their mojo back to a certain extent. Yeah. I think having Zach Shea back gave them a little bit of that confidence boost they need. Their offense totally runs a lot more fluid. And I mentioned this in the post-game show when they have him, because he turns the little screens into 15, 20-yard passes. Jalen Moore, he gets to really,
they need that third weapon.
It opens it up. It spreads the line a little bit. He has a little bit more room to operate, and it gives Rio more room to operate. But the key is, defensively, I thought that was their best showing of the season against Crespi, holding them to only 14 points. Granted, there was 14.
They weren't embarrassed by Alamany either. I mean, I was at that game. I mean, when you consider Alamany scored, 26 points or something. Alamany, one of those was set up by a short punt by Amat that put Alamany on the Amat 30. Right. I mean, you take away that, they did a great job.
And one of Loyola's touchdowns in that game, it was on Fred Rogan in the post-game show where, the referee initially called it dead. Some other guy comes running in and says he caught it, but they showed it drop on the ground.
One of Crespi's TDs.
So there would have only been 1 touchdown. But bottom line is, I think Amat's playing a lot better defensively. I think they're finally feeling better about themselves, because I think they were starting to question themselves for a little while there with some of their results, not winning as convincingly as they want to win, and losing that first game to Alamany, I thought scared everybody. But you go there, you get the big win at Crespi, and they're sitting pretty right now, Aram, in terms of what they have left.
Now, Fred, tell us about Loyola, man. I mean, I will admit I do not really follow this team. I try and stick to the SGV teams. I know they have that loss to Upland, which after that happened, I was kind of like scratch them off.
Well, everyone's big on Upland, and I'm not so sure they're the super powerful team that everyone thinks they are.
Oh, Upland?
Upland. I mean, no, Loyola.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Upland's legit, Fred.
Chaz Anderson, they lost him in that game. Yeah. He had the ankle sprain in that game against Upland. He hasn't played since.
This is Loyola's running back?
Loyola's receiver.
Okay.
Yeah, he's
Isn't Whitfield
he's their Boise State commit. Well, they have a few guys. They have a few guys. They're only giving up 13 points a game. That's their MO, is their defense. Offensively, here's why I like Amat in a game like this. They have a quarterback who's averaging 106 yards a game, Nicholas Cotton. He hasn't had a game where he's thrown for 160 or more. Yeah. They're Wyatt Bradford's their leading rusher, 85 yards a game. They're, as a team, 182 yards a game. They're not one of those. The teams that are dangerous against Amat are the teams like the Alamany. Teams that are athletic, that can throw all over the park. That's why I always say a Charter Oak would be dangerous for Amat, because they're going to spread it all over the place and score points. Loyola doesn't seem like that type of team. And where Loyola's strong, everything you read about them is in their secondary. They've got guys, and in their last game they had a couple picks. If you try to challenge them deep, they're really dangerous. Amat doesn't challenge you deep. They're going to run the ball. They're going to throw a lot of short stuff. So I think when you look at the matchups, I think Amat matches up well against Loyola, because if their strength is Loyola's secondary, that's not Amat's strength, isn't their deep ball.
They're not going to test that part of their defense. And they're going to try and run them over.
Right, and I think Amat's going to be able to do what they do, the little short screens, a lot of more in the backfield. I think they're going to be able to move the ball. Their defense keeps improving, and you're looking at an offense that isn't exactly, they're good, they're not great.
Right.
And they got them at home.
Right.
So
And besides the Alamany loss, that's like the only one they've had, or the Alamany loss is the only one they've had at home in league or overall in the Haggerty era, right?
Right.
Wow, that's impressive stuff. Yeah. So odds are on Amat.
They've lost 2 games at home in the entire Haggerty area.
Freddie,
you saw one of them.
I picked against Amat last week. I picked Crespi, and it got the job done because Amat won. I'm going to pick Loyola this week.
That's strictly because you're a hater.
No, I
think you're going to pick Notre Dame in the finale. I don't think you're going to pick Bishop Amat in the game this year.
No, it's strictly because, like last week, it got the job done. I picked against them, they won the game.
I don't know why.
So now this week I'm hoping, because when I pick on them, they lose. So I mean, that's the problem. So I'm going with Loyola, and I hope I'm wrong. Who do you got?
Well,
Be honest.
I'm honest. I like Bishop Amat for the reasons I just told you. I think they match up well against Loyola. Mm-hmm. Strengths against strengths, weaknesses against weaknesses. I think this game is a good game for Amat. And at home on their homecoming, I've always thought that was worth an extra 5 or 6 points.
5 or 6
points. That's worth an extra touchdown when you're playing at home at Cooper Stadium.
Well, Amat crowds haven't been great this year. Even the Amat people I've talked to have been like a little surprised that they weren't. It wasn't packed against Alamany at all. Hopefully, homecoming makes this one a crazy one, and that win against Crespi gets people excited again.
And if Amat wins, in all fairness, they would be one of the first 2 wins in this league because Loyola's only played 1 game.
Or could the attendance numbers lagging be because everyone wants to be with Mike the Cousin on cover?
That's true. That could be true. He had extraordinary numbers at Crespi last week.
Yeah. All right. Well, hopefully you Amat fans all get out there, especially you alums, and enjoy the homecoming festivities. And hopefully the team enjoys a little homecoming win and beats Loyola and sets itself up nicely for a little SGV having a Pac-5 team in the playoffs again.
Well, I think if they beat Loyola, I think you're right there. They would be all but in. Yeah. Especially if Alamany beats Crespi this week, because that would give Crespi 2 losses. Yeah. Notre Dame already has 2 losses. And they would own that home.
Fred, CIF wants those ticket sales that Amat gives them in the playoffs.
Yeah. Well, they need them at home then.
Or on the road too. Amat travels well. Anyways, there you have it. Friday night at Kiefer. Unbelievable old school parochial battle. Sarah League showdown. Loyola 6-1. Amat 6-2. 1-0 in league for Loyola. 1-1 in league for Amat. Should be a great one. Freddie J will be out there enjoying all the festivities. You should get out there and do the same thing. Cubs and Lancers, that's all I can say.